market product. So you mentioned driving nannies a bit. Let's talk a little bit. So what's it like to be a driver? And I guess maybe we can start or end with the all important question. Of course, drivers in our audience probably want to know how much they can make as a driving nanny for Kidcaboo, but also what's the experience like and what should they expect? When's it busy? I'm guessing that you provide your own car and then sign up very similar to Uber.
You do. And so our minimum is $15 per ride, which is anything
wow.
under like 15 to $20 or 15 to 20 minutes
Yeah.
or around 4 to 5 miles. So anything under that
So
is.
you've got a nice high minimum fare. So right off the
Yeah, I think
bat,
it's
drivers
so
probably love that
important.
because
Oh
I
yeah,
think,
no, it's super important.
yeah,
And it also, I mean, like in the long run, it like saves, the incentives. I mean, we offer like generous bonuses,
hmm
but I mean, we pay well to begin with. And I think that's
hmm
super important. So, but then like, we also like hands-on work with drivers to like get rides sort of connected a little bit.
yeah,
And so we have a lot of drivers who make like $60, $70 an hour doing a few rides, like in
yeah,
between like classes or
yeah.
like, whenever local moms, may have some time or whatever. And I think so that is really our as far as pay goes. We do bonuses based on performance, timeliness, surprise bonuses, but then also like we have Zen Drive, which
hmm
that's built in. I mean, we have drivers that do very well, they're incentivized, to continue to do well, so they're
Yeah.
paid for that. We're offer, I'm considering the bonus thing.
hmm
We could talk about the gig employee versus contractor thing
Well,
later.
so
Maybe
drivers are independent contractors for
at the
Kidcaboo.
time.
They
I mean,
provide their own
yeah,
car, so it's similar to Uber in that respect. I
correct.
guess the one
Yeah,
big difference to me is that there is more of a formal vetting process, which I think is,
yeah,
to be honest, I think that's definitely a good thing for the company. But I feel like one thing that's missing in the gig economy, if you're driving for Uber and Lyft, it's hard to be rewarded. If you're a loyal driver, if you've got 25,000 trips for Uber and a 5-star rating, you don't get anything bigger, better. You don't call into customer support and go to the front of the line. Nothing
okay, so that's
really,
crazy to
right?
me and
And
so
so
interesting.
yeah, I
Yes,
mean, I think it's like
yes.
interesting to kind of like highlight these opportunities for,
Mhm.
folks that are looking to like upskill. Like, hey, if I'm in one of the neighborhood, one of the areas that Kidcaboo is operating, it's like, hey, they do a more thorough process. But within an interview, right? I imagine if you're looking at two candidates, one is a brand new driver and one has 25,000 trips, it's like, wow, we really can take good care of this driver. We really will value them. So I think it's important. It's like there's definitely higher earnings potential and,
There
also
is.
setting the right expectations. I mean, I imagine that, I don't know, during the day, is it not busy because kids are in school? Is it before school and
Yeah,
after school? What are the hours where it's busiest for drivers?
right. So I mean, like we don't just meet school needs. I mean, and
Gotcha.
I think somebody at Tusk said this once, and I thought it was totally
hmm
valid. Basically, like you're doing something that hasn't been done since the school bus was invented, which
Yeah.
at the time the school bus worked for like 90% of kids. Awesome, great. And that declined for multiple like reasons in
Yeah.
American culture over time. And we're reinventing children's transportation
Yeah.
for modern American family life. And that does not just involve school. So, I mean,
hmm
we do operate in the morning, and then I would say there are a few things in the afternoon, yes, but mostly like before school, after school, and then into the
Yeah.
evening activities, summer camp, etc.
Yep.
So our drivers work then, and then a lot of them, like we don't purport to be a company that can offer full-time salary. I think,
hmm
maybe we meet that for some people, but I think like, I tell people straight up, I mean, I don't think this is a
Yeah.
job to take if you're looking for something full-time. Like,
hmm
however, I will say this, probably the best thing that we offer, and we've consistently done this, our COO was a former driving nanny, et cetera. I am a huge proponent of offering growth opportunities within the
Yeah.
company. If somebody proves themselves to me, I'm extremely loyal, and we will remember you and seek you out. And we'll be
Yeah.
like, hey, what do you like? Social media? Do you like
Yeah.
HR? Like, do you like legal? Like, what is your interest? And we'll
Very
move you
cool.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, no,
too.
I think that's great. And I think I've seen that with a lot of the smaller to medium, especially in the specialized rideshare companies. It's like
Right.
you want people who can, empathize with what it's like to be a driver. And frankly, I think when they move up in the company into those
Yeah.
roles, they're going to be much better served because of it. I guess one other bonus that I would say of, I've actually never done, sort of like I've done a lot of different jobs in the gig economy, but now that I think about it, I've never done like rideshare for kids. So when you expand to California,
Well,
we might have to
you are
chat
welcome.
and
Yeah. Do you
maybe
know
we'll see if I
California?
can pass the interview
Yeah.
process, to be honest. But
California's like last on my list for some reason, but I
we'll
love
talk. We'll
California.
talk. We'll
But
see.
yeah.
We'll see how many California drivers want to sign up after this
Yeah.
podcast. But one other thing too that like working with kids is kind of fun. I joked earlier, right, that it's a lot of work, but I feel like actually when you have other kids, like your own kids, are a lot of work. But when
I
you're
have
watching
to tell
other
you.
kids,
Yeah.
like they're always on their best behavior. They're like my kids are like amazing, angels at daycare, and when they're with the grandparents, and with me, they're a little crazy. But like when they're with other people, they're like super fun and really fun to hang out with. So
I
I guess
know.
that's the other thing. Like we hear a lot of, on traditional rideshare right now, there's issues around safety. And, frankly, like a lot of people have switched over to delivery because they may not like or enjoy, transporting like drunk passengers on Friday, Saturday night. So I feel
Yeah.
like that's another kind of cool
I keep
little
hearing that.
bonus of transporting, minors. It's like they're fun to be around, and they're definitely not going to be trying to bring alcohol in your car. I can guarantee that.
And I think one VP of ours, there was an issue with a driver one day, an emergency happened, and so this VP was like, "I'm going to do this drive myself." She's a
Yeah.
mom, and afterwards she called and she was almost in tears, and she was like, every day I drive my kids to school, and I do the same,
Yeah.
and because Kidcaboo is not yet in Pennsylvania, it will be
Hmm.
soon, but I'm doing this where I am right now.
Nice.
And so you are stressed out, you're
Yeah.
rushing, you're whatever, it's not a whatever. And she was like, but with this little girl, she was like, we were laughing and it was
Yeah.
fun and it was light. And that is what it should be like for these kids. It like
Very
was
cool.
less stressful for the kids to start their morning as well.
Yeah.
Because the moms aren't rushed. Not to just say moms, parents,
Yeah.
aren't rushed and stress is less.
Very